posterity. And with those words, the founders of our nation established a democratic republic that was constitutionally charged. These incredible men, dynamic convergence at one time. Who were these men? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Samuel Adams, John Jay, Alexander Hamilton. All of them great men. And they had, if you actually go back and study and watch them just a little bit, they had sort of an underpinning characteristics. So real quickly, as an old Southern Baptist preacher, I'm going to give you 5 points real quickly. And by this is a way of an introduction to a young man, and you'll see why in just a second. You see, the characteristics of a great leader that our founders had was first, vision. They could look at where we are today, but they could see where we could be tomorrow. These men possessed incredible vision. You see, the world said there was never a way that you could take on the crown. And yet they said, we will establish a great nation, not just for this generation, but for many, many years to come. In fact, they thought it would be over 5,000 years. They were men of great learning, education. They loved education. They studied Cicero. They studied Montesquieu. They studied Adam Smith, Wealth of Nations. They studied the Bible to know the Scriptures. They were great men of character integrity. I think of George Washington, 67 times, falling on his knees, beseeching Almighty God for the providential blessing of this nation when everything looked bleak. I hear that James Madison says that the Constitution that they've given us would not even work unless we had a moral and virtuous people led by moral and virtuous leaders. Fourthly, they had incredible courage. They pledged their lives, their fortune, and their personal honor. And finally, they were men of incredible tenacity. They never gave up. In the bleakest moments in establishing a nation, they never gave up. They just kept coming because their call, their charge was so great. And every generation is required to have these leaders. We celebrate one of them tonight as our namesake, Abraham Lincoln, 80 years later, when the nation was about to separate. And the vision of our founders would have dissolved. And he had a great integrity and courage and wisdom and vision. 120 years after that, our other namesake, and a man that I got to watch, a man that I consider from a distance a mentor, Ronald Reagan. We had slipped into the malaise, as he called it. America was slipping into a second-rate nation, as some said. And he stood with the same vision and learning, character, courage, and tenacity. Well, how about us? Alas, here we are. In a generation that I'm beginning to hear that many people say maybe our best days are behind us. Now here's the question I ask you. Is this the last generation that will receive the great blessings of Almighty God? Are we the end?
No.
Is this the last generation that can say, we have secured the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity? No. Well, I have some good news for you. Because every generation is required to have that leader. Tonight, I am introducing a young man, a friend of mine, my speaker when I first came into the Florida House. This man has incredible vision. You see, before he even became speaker, he went around the state saying, listen, we're going to put together a vision. We're going to actually bring something and accomplish something in the Florida House of Representatives. We're going to accomplish government that comes from the people. And we did. He is a man of great learning. He's a very educated man. He went to the University of Florida. I'll give him that. besides that, he is a great man of great learning. He is a man of incredible integrity. You know, in these days, they try to attack. That's the first thing they try to do is go after your character. He is a man of incredible integrity. And he brought that integrity to the Florida House. By the way, I've been blessed to serve under two great speakers, Marco Rubio and my good friend Larry Creel, great men of integrity. Fourthly, he is a courageous man. He's going to tell his story tonight. I want you to hear it. And finally, he is a man of tenacity. You see, everybody said, "What are you doing, young man? You can't possibly win against a sitting governor. You can't possibly win because Washington's already dead. They've already said who's going to win that seat. You've only got 6% name ID across the state." And he just kept coming. Ladies and gentlemen, for this generation, for the blessings that we must secure for our generation and the next, God has providentially, I believe, blessed us with another great leader, my speaker, my friend, and the next senator from the great state of Florida, Marco Rubio.